Properties of Iso Quant. UGC net questions are likely to appear from this lesson also. Keeping this in mind, I stress only those finer points from where multiple choice questions shall be asked. With this, let us proceed to discuss the properties of Iso Quant. Three important properties of Iso Quant are: 1. Iso Quant slopes negatively. 2. Iso Quant is convex towards the origin. 3. No two iso quants cut each other. Let us see them one by one. 1. Iso quant slopes negatively. The iso quant slopes downward from left to right. As the producer slides down from left to right, he goes on substituting labor in the place of capital. When he withdraws a few units of capital, the output is reduced, and when he employs additional units of labor, the output is increased. The reduction in output is exactly compensated by an increase in output. This is the reason that all combinations of an isoquant curve produce the same level of output. Combinations of isoquant which assumes any other shape other than negative slope are incapable of producing the same level of output. Some of the finer points. 1. In the negative sloping segment of the isoquant, marginal product of both the factors are positive. 2. Since the producer has to pay a positive price to the factors and aims to minimize cost, he chooses a combination only in the negative segment of the isoquant curve. 3. If the isoquant is horizontal and parallel to x-axis, then the marginal product of labor is 0. 4. If the isoquant is vertical and parallel to y-axis, then the marginal product of capital is 0. 5. If the isoquant slopes upward, then the marginal product of both the factors may be 0, or marginal product of any one of the two factors is negative. 2. Isoquant is convex towards the origin. There are two reasons behind the convexity of the isoquant curve. 1. Diminishing marginal rate of technical substitution of labor for capital. The tendency of taking away less and less units of capital from production to employ in its place one additional unit of labor so that output remains at the same level is called diminishing marginal rate of technical substitution of labor for capital. Already we have seen as the producer descends along the curve, he substitutes labor in the place of capital. In the graph, we have shown 5 combinations A, B, C, D, E. When he goes from combination A to B, he gives up 4 units of capital to substitute 1 unit of labor. Here, the rate of exchange is 4:1. Similarly, when he moves from B to C, the rate of exchange is 3:1. Thus, as he moves further, it falls as 2:1 and 1:1. Since the marginal rate of technical substitution keeps on falling along the curve, it is convex towards the origin. 2. Operation of the diminishing marginal returns is yet another reason. Since this law governs this segment of the isoquant, it is convex towards the origin. On the other hand, if the law of increasing returns operates, isoquant will be concave towards the origin. Moreover, the concavity exhibits the tendency of increasing returns. Some of the finer points. 1. The prominence of the convexity reflects the nature of substitution between the two factors. More prominence the convexity, harder the substitutability. Less prominence the convexity, easier the substitutability. 2. If the isoquant is linear straight line, the two factors are perfect substitutes. 3. If the isoquant is right angled, the two factors are complements. Third property. No two isoquants cut each other. IQ1 and IQ2 are two isoquants. We know an isoquant that lies to the right of a given isoquant represents a higher level of output. Accordingly, IQ2, which lies to the right of IQ1, represents 200 units of output. It means all the factor combinations in IQ2 produce 200 units of output. In the same way, an isoquant that lies to the left of a given isoquant represents a lower level of output. Here, IQ1 that lies to the left of the isoquant IQ2 represents 100 units of output. It shows all the factor combinations in IQ1 produce 100 units of output. If we allow the two isoquants to cut each other, then it amounts to that the combination C, which lies exactly at the intersection point, is capable of producing two different levels of output. To be very precise, factor combination C produces 100 units with reference to IQ1 and 200 units with reference to IQ2. It is not possible. It is absurd, ridiculous, and meaningless. So, the two isoquants never cut each other. Our discussion ends here. We shall meet in the next video lesson. Vanakkam.